Welcome to the return of New York State Music in Motion. I'm your host, rocker Frank Palangi, here as we have a sit-down chat with artists from all over New York State. This season, we are sponsored by the Helpin' Friendly Salve, an all-natural herbal extract. You can check them out at thehelpinfriendlysalve.com. What's up, everybody? New York State Music in Motion. Welcome back for Season 2. Today, we got Moriah, an upstate New York rock artist extraordinaire. She's like a veteran, okay, to this magazine. She's a veteran. Since she started, she's been rocking and rolling from the Voice TV show to her own music, now to a new band called Plush. So we'll see what's going on here. Moriah, what's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
Good. How you doing on this February, March time here we got going on during COVID? Do you remember last year? Wow. That's when it all started.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
It's like the plague.
Yeah, it's insane. I think I might have had COVID right around this time last year, actually.
I swear I did too. I had something, it lingered for 3 months, and it comes back every like once in a while. I don't know if you noticed that too.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing. I never go to the doctors for a cold, but
yeah,
that one, so I had to go. I went.
It must have been our February show stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? The damn virus.
Yeah, love for music. Right. So you've been busy though during the lockdown. You've got new songs, you got a new band. Let's talk about let's go back a little bit and introduce people, you know, who you are and how you started. So what made you kind of start to play guitar and write your own songs?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as getting into guitar, I was about 5 or 6, and I always loved, you know, my parents always raised me around music, and my dad specifically had like 80s pop-up videos going on around the house, or that metal. And I just fell in love with particularly the guitar, and also how they looked. I just thought they looked so freaking cool. And I started getting really into Aerosmith around that time, and Joe Perry his guitar playing is what really inspired me to pick up a guitar.
I could see that. I could see that now that you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because I've always wondered, I don't think I've ever asked you, because we've done some other stuff, and I'm like, I don't really know her guitar background. I know your vocal, you know, you like Evanescence and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Art.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So anybody else besides Joe?
I really liked Brian Head Welch from Korn, his guitar playing, but that wasn't until
really
on, I was like, you know, 11 or so.
Okay.
Yeah, Korn really inspired me to. It's crazy. Like my music taste is all over the place. It's crazy.
But it's all rock oriented though. You know, It's all rock, heavy metal. You love the 80s, you love the 90s. I mean, that kind of stuff like Korn and Drowning Pool and Disturbed, that was my high school end of years kind of stuff. So it's neat that you're getting into all that kind of stuff. That's where it's at, you know? Yeah,
definitely. And it was always a pain when I was in like 6th grade, and I'm like, there was like, you know, you'd find like 1 or 2 metalheads, and you just had to stick together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a couple. And then there's a couple that you kind of stayed away from, where you're like, you want to jam, man? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
There was a quick story of we jammed with somebody and they had voodoo dolls in their basement. Such a metalhead. So I got out of there.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's a little too much. You know, do you like stuff?
Like one mistake, you do something wrong, and they're using the voodoo dolls, and they're like, "Oh, I made a Frank doll."
Exactly. Get the pins out, Chucky. Now you love horror movies too, right?
I do.
I think we talked about that before. Did you see some of the new ones? What do you like that's out there right now?
I just watched a couple. Oh, these aren't new, but it was my first time watching them. Because I try to stay away from the paranormal stuff as much as I can, just because I'm a super spiritual person, and you know, I believe that even just watching those movies can open things up, and I've experienced some things. So, but I don't know. I saw the preview for The Conjuring and I was like, all right. So I watched both of The Conjurings like 2 nights ago and I loved them. I thought those were really good.
You have to see the Annabelle ones too. I think there's The Nun. There's like some spin-offs.
Yeah, and I also watched this movie called Hellfest. It was kind of stupid, but it was pretty funny. It was like
I actually liked it. I think it was a throwback. Definitely a throwback. It was cool.
Yeah. I liked it. I just watched that the other night. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, the whole serial killer thing, and because you never think about it, I'm like, wow, I guess that would be a perfect kind of setting.
Yeah.
You're expecting people to look like getting killed and stuff.
That's something I've always worried about, you know, because I'm a big fan of the Fun House from the 70s, and it's a little bit like that. So it's like you never know. But does any of that go? I know for me, it goes into my music a little bit. But are you influenced by horror with music and kind of the rock stuff? You know, how it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, sometimes I am. Like, I definitely. I mean, I kind of love. I love writing and listening to like creepy sort of unsettling things. Like that's one of the reasons I love the band Rammstein. Like his vocals are just so unsettling and disturbing, and I love that about it, you know.
It sounds like a dead man singing, like if you were dead and had vocals.
Exactly.
Nice. So we're getting into some good stuff now. How does your starting off from, you know, The Voice, the TV show, and then writing your own songs, and then writing songs with your band? Let's start with that process of how it kind of evolved, because I know you started doing a lot of covers with the TV stuff. Then you got into a lot of your originals. We played before you got on the TV show too, and you had a CD out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did. I'd written like many songs from the time I was 11 to now, and you know, as you mentioned, the Bring It On EP was like my first ever thing that I released ever. And I was like 12 when that came out, I think. But yeah, it's crazy just seeing how it's evolved and how it's changed my songwriting. And, you know, I found that I really do like co-writes. You know, I like bouncing off ideas with my bandmates and getting their 2 cents and stuff, because it really, you know, it's always like you think you have the perfect vision and then somebody mentions something, you're like, oh crap, I never heard it that way. I actually love that better, you know? So
stuff you overlook a little bit.
Right. It's been a very interesting thing, you know, and it's just been very interesting. Because at first I was very like, you know, when you first start, when you're a kid and you're just like, no, like this is my work. I don't want to write with anyone. Like, I don't want to do that. And then, you know, you mature a little bit and you realize how things work.
Yeah.
And then you know,
you need a drummer, you know, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It ends up being fun, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's cool because I know that you start off with a lot of the ideas, and then, I mean, do you hand it over to your band like, hey, I got a bunch of songs, and then, or do you guys start to jam and then it kind of comes from there?
I mean, sometimes we just do jam and we come up with like a riff or something, or, you know, Brooke will come up with a beat or something that we really like and we'll just write to it. But a lot of the time, you know, we just bounce ideas off of each other, and I'll send, you know, a verse and a chorus of something that I wrote, and I'll be like, hey, what do you guys think of this? You know, can you put your flares on it? And, you know, let me know if you hear it differently or whatever. Yeah.
adds a lot of extra flavor.
Exactly.
Gotta add that flavor. Now, I noticed I've seen some behind the scenes stuff recently. You were just in the studio for a new song called Hate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, where'd you record that, and who produced that?
We recorded that at I think House of Blue Studios, something like that. It's a branch of like Universal Music Group, and
okay. Is that Massachusetts?
It was in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and the producer that we worked with his name is Johnny K, and he's awesome. I mean, he produced Disturbed and Three Doors Down and all sorts of bands, and you know, Hailstorm. So it was really, really amazing to work with him, and our visions just really came together, you know, for what we wanted with the song. So And
Yeah, he
he's
seemed pretty cool. He's like, I seen the vocal clip of he's like, just freaking let it out.
yeah, he's very
Clench
yeah,
your
you know,
fists, woman.
right, exactly. Yeah, he helps to just get it out of you, because especially when you're working in the studio with with your songs and someone who you're working with them for the first time. And sometimes, at least for me, I'm kind of a shy person, and it takes a little bit for me to open up. And so
Yeah.
it's nice to have somebody like him to help bring it out of you, and to really be like, hey, this is rock and roll. This isn't about sounding pretty and perfect. Just sing the damn song, sound angry. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I really, really love that about him, because it's about getting the best song, and that's what helped get it.
That's kind of what I like working, like you said, with producers. I know what you mean. Like somebody you never met, and you go in the studio and work
Yeah.
with them. I think that's why it's great that you start with like the drummer and then maybe like the bass player. Then you
Right.
do your guitar part. Then you do the vocal, because by then you've kind of acclimated to the studio, the environment.
You
The
got
producer. I think if you just went in and let's vocal day on one, it'd be tough, I think.
Yeah, absolutely not. I totally agree. And that's actually how we did it.
Really?
Yeah. Brooke did her drums first. I kind of got the feel for everything, how the day was gonna go, what time lunchtime was gonna be, and
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
What are we gonna eat
And
today?
by the time
Well, it was a
already.
Chinese place down the road.
Exactly.
Yep. One of my producers is big on Mexican. I'm like, I've never had Mexican before. We were in Virginia, and I was like, I went to 2 Mexican places. I hated it, actually.
In Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It especially in like Nashville. It was like, one day it would be freaking, Hattie B's hot chicken. Then the next day it would be like, we had pho from this really good Thai place, and then and then the next day it'd just be like burgers from this. You know what I mean?
They do have good burgers. The fried chicken and stuff down there is awesome.
Oh my gosh, the spice and oh my gosh, they served it with these beans, with the baked beans. It was like the favorite thing. I love like Southern. I love Southern food. It's amazing.
Do you wake up and eat the sausage and grits in the morning? Because they have that almost every morning.
Yeah, that's super good. And I actually love grits. I actually eat grits here at home.
Really? Okay.
I grew up eating grits, and my mom would always bring grits home, and grits was just like a staple in my house. So yes, I love grits.
Cool. That was like oatmeal for me. Because you're Italian too, right?
Yes.
I think we talked. Yeah, something like that, sort of.
I'm a little Italian. Yeah, my last name is Italian. Yeah.
I kind of figured that. So I was like, all right, the pasta's the spaghetti. I was talking to Madison, and she goes, I get pasta mailed to me by fans.
Oh my God, Madison loves pasta.
Yeah.
Even before like any of us, like the two of us got into like music for real or anything, like her and I would eat lunch at school every day, and she would, if there was pasta available, she'd get pasta.
She'd bring boiled water in a container and just pour the noodles in. Ready to go. Yep. Nice. Yeah, she's gonna be on this season too, so if you guys out there, make sure you check out Madison's interview. And we got a lot of good guests too. Season 2, we're looking at hopefully a season 3 too coming up, so we will see. So what's some of the, like, she gets mailed pasta from fans, and I get what the heck is it, cherry wine soda mailed to me by fans, because we don't live in the South, you know what I mean?
Right.
And what's your kind of thing maybe you get from fans, or it could be something weird too?
I mean, if it's usually like a t-shirt, or I don't really have any like weird things that I get from fans. Okay.
Is it drawings? You ever get like drawings?
Oh yes, I have got drawings and fan arts and stuff. I have this one, it's amazing, but I have this one fan art. It's like in a big frame. And it's a picture of me, but the woman did it with like it's just all pen, but it looks so real. Like it's amazing the way, like, it just is so realistic, but she did it all with pen. It was the strangest thing. And it was, I mean, it's crazy to me. I could never do that.
Yeah, I can't draw worth beans.
I can't.
I can't.
I've always wanted to, but I just never could. Like, I'm an artist in a different way.
Yeah. That's somebody you don't get is all musicians are not artistic. You know
Absolutely
what
not.
I mean? Yeah. What is some of, like, we were talking about fan stuff and questions and things, and what is somebody like, what are some of the good questions that you get, or maybe some of the weird kind of stuff, like I know there's like a line between some things, and some people are rude and some people are really great. Like, how do you handle a couple questions in there, but how do you handle like the negative and the positive?
I don't, like with the negative, I kind of just don't. I mean, if it's something, there's only two things that I will respond to somebody who says something negative. Sorry, my dog is whining. There's only two things two topics. If somebody says something negative, that I'll respond. I don't really care if you say my voice is crap. I don't really care if you don't like my music. I don't really care. Like, I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the things that I feel the need to respond to is when people accuse me of being fake, lip syncing, or not really playing the guitar in my guitar videos. And then the other thing is whenever people mention my hair, they don't like my hair. You should change your hair. You should do this. Those are the things that I need to respond to, because those are two things that you don't say, because
it's a girl thing, hair. No, I get the hair thing. I get that.
It's a girl thing, also a culture thing. Like, I'm mixed, I can't help what my hair is. Like, if first of all, if you are black, if you are mixed with black, you can't help your hair. You just can't.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And so it frustrates me, because I'm like, people need to understand the gravity of what they're saying, because even though somebody may not appear something on the outside, you have no idea what it is, how it connects to their roots or whatever. So those are the only things that I'll respond with negativity.
I think people just say stuff too because they can.
Right.
They're sitting there, and maybe sometimes it comes to their mind. Maybe they didn't mean it. I get stuff like that too, where they're like, I didn't really mean it, but I was having a shitty day. And I'm like,
exactly.
Well,
so it's just easy to be like, oh yeah, well, this, I totally agree with that. As far as positivity, like, I always try and respond to all the positivity, and people are just super, super nice. And I particularly love whenever my fans ask me about my animals, because I love animals and I love my reptiles. So I really, really like whenever they ask for like updates on my reptiles and stuff like that too.
Like a page just for your animals.
Yeah.
I see that though. You're brave with the snake. I hate snakes.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, if we ever jammed, man, the snake better be in a room somewhere.
I don't know what it is. I just have loved snakes from a very young age. Like, from the time I was little, I just knew I was going to have many snakes. I just knew it.
So you're not like Indiana Jones.
Oh, absolutely not. Well, maybe I hate spiders. I hate tarantulas. So we have that in common, me and Indiana Jones.
Okay. Halfway there at least. So what's your plans coming up as far as the new band? Let's talk about the new band here. So it's Plush. Now, is that based off the band's song? You know what I mean? That band?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people have asked, like, oh, is it inspired by the Stone Temple Pilots song Plush? And it's not. So we were having like a hard time coming up with the names, because I think, when bands just form, we all want something to be like, we want it to have like a spiritual meaning, like we want it to really mean something deep. And then it's like, we just think too hard about stuff. And then the name Plush was thrown out, because we're like, all right, we got to come up with a name. It doesn't freaking matter. I mean, my all-time favorite band is named freaking Korn, with a K and a backwards R. Like, you can if they can make something out of themselves being named
Carrots.
Korn,
Let's go to Carrots.
Right, exactly. So Plush, the name Plush was thrown out, and at first I think we were all like, I don't know, like, it's not badass enough. It's not really us. But then we started thinking, and I thought it was pretty funny because, you know, we are 4 young girls, and you know, the stereotypical girl is soft and sweet and, you know, whatever. And, you know, Plush is soft and whatever.
Yeah.
Silly. But then when we start playing, it's the exact opposite. And I just thought that was actually really funny. And I liked having a name that wasn't so, like, obvious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely, to me, when I hear it, female oriented, you know?
Right. And it just rolls off the tongue easily too. So we were just like, fine, you know what? Plush.
Yeah. It took a couple of days rolling around my head to be like, what is that? Like, I didn't really get it at first. And then,
right.
And I was like, okay, I think I get it more now that I understand the name and stuff like that. And I was like, okay.
Right.
But it is, I hate to say it, but it is a good search result for your band because of that song, you know, huge song. So I think of that stuff too when I'm writing songs is, you know, I would really want to call it this when I'm like, nobody's ever going to search for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what, where'd you come up with Hate as far as, you know, lyrics and inspiration? Now I think you had your own version of it that I listened to.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. So that version was, cause I wrote the song, a couple of years ago, actually. And the version that I released as Moriah Formica, it wasn't, it just, after working with Johnny, you know, it just was not, that version was like a demo. I mean, it really was. It was a demo. There wasn't much feel in it. It was kind of.
Was that with your last band? Was your band on that track?
No.
No?
They weren't on it, but we did play it live. They weren't on it. I actually went to, I recorded that in Santa Monica with a producer. His name's Jim Kaufman, and he's great. He's awesome. But this song was really meant to be kind of a demo.
Okay.
And then I just was like, you know, why don't we release it? But this version, I think, just really is so much more me. It's so much more genuine.
Yeah.
It has a much more raw sound, you know, like it's a very, I mean, compared to how things are mixed nowadays, it's a very untouched song, kind of, you know, it's a very like as far as like vocal tuning and, you know, heavy processing on drums and like everything is super organic sounding, which is what I really, really liked. I mean, we were sitting, Johnny brought like all his pedals. I was literally sitting there with the, like 2 freaking, like we had wah pedals, and also it was just a very old school thing, you know?
Yeah.
Which is what I really love about this version. And then obviously, you know, my bandmates putting their own spin on it just makes it even better. So,
what kind of amps did you use for guitar?
Actually, it was a really weird, it was like a hot rodded Marshall amp.
Okay. Okay.
Has like all these weird like things that he gets from like his you know producers like from the back in the day. They're like, yeah, you know, my buddy like hot rodded this Marshall and it actually sounds better. And
it does.
It was called like a Rocco or something like that. It was really weird, but it was the coolest sounding amp. It was so freaking cool.
I noticed, I think it's your guitar in the song has a little different sound than your other guitar players. And it almost like, I describe it breaks up with distortion. Does that make sense? Like a good thing.
I think, hold on.
And I think it's because it's modded that that's the sound he was going for.
Right. No, I totally get what you mean now. It's a very, and that's why we loved it, is because the sound was a very like vintage, not vintage, but a very old school kind of.
It is, yeah.
You know,
well, I think what I mean is the tubes. You know how the tubes you turn up so much they kind of start to break up, and it's not a bad breakup distortion. It's actually a good breakup distortion.
Right. It's just like raw, straight up rock and roll. You know.
Yeah.
Tube amps, like I get what you're saying, and it's
10 to 11 might.
Yeah, and we tried all of them. We tried like actual Marshalls. We tried, you know, EVH. I played through an EVH.
Yeah.
But we ended up going with that one, and it was
cool.
It was great.
I love Black Star a lot. I've got a Black Star. I've been using them.
Yeah, really Black Star. Brutal. I freaking love them.
Very them with because I use the you use ESP guitars too, or the active pickups. That's what I
Yeah.
use, and it's very. I love Metallica, so it's definitely a Metallica type tone.
So it's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually like most of my ESP guitars have or LTDs, whatever you want to call them. They have the the EMGs, like what most of them come with. These last two that I've got, they come with the Fishman Fluence pickups, the the modern humbucker pickups.
Oh, okay.
And those, I'm telling you, like, they are the best pickups I've ever played with so far.
Are they active still, or are they passive?
They're both. It's like the knob, like whenever people put like a coil tap thing and you can like lift the knob. It's kind of like that, where it's like, so whenever it's down, it's active, but then when you lift it, when you pick the knob up, it's passive.
That's sick. So like verses, you could go with a passive sound, and then in choruses and the thick parts, pop it up.
Yeah. No, it's so good. And for like cleans and stuff, it sounds so amazing. It's crazy how good. Yeah.
That must be new. That must be new type things. I've never seen those in a guitar from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't seen them either. I think they only started using them maybe like a year ago, maybe. But I love Fishman pickups. Like Tosin Abasi, from Animals as Leaders, he has his own signature Fishman pickups, and they sound great too. So I just love how they sound.
Oh, nice. What are some of the other brands that you use as far as like endorsements and that kind of stuff?
I like, as far as endorsements, I really like Ernie Ball. I'm endorsed by Ernie Ball, and not only their not just their strings, but I really love they have strap locks, and I just love how they look. They don't look like the Dunlop ones where it's kind of like they're just more small and compact. It's so weird to explain, but they're really cool looking strap locks. And they're the picks. I love the Ernie Ball picks. Like the which ones are these? Hold on.
The custom ones, right? You got your logo on it?
Oh no, I don't. I wish I did.
Oh, okay.
The Prodigy picks, the Ernie Ball Prodigy picks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The triangles.
Yeah. They're so great. I love them.
One of my students I teach, I think, brought over a pick like that, and I go, how do you use this thing?
Yeah, it's so weird, and it's sharp. Like, it hurts. If you scratch yourself with this, it freaking hurts.
What do you get more? You get more definition or something out of it, or is it quicker? How's it different than a regular pick?
For me personally, I like the way it, like, for chugging and stuff. It's, for me, it just comes out more precise because it's sharper. So it's just,
okay. When
and
you pick,
also,
oh, go ahead.
And it's a different sound. Like, it's a little bit brighter for me, and it also helps with like trem picking if I need something like super fast, Yep. I'm doing a solo or something. So that's why I really like those.
Yeah, a lot of people forget, even in the studio, like, you have a variety of guitar picks. They actually sound different depending on millimeter, what they're made out of. I know Def Leppard uses like steel picks. I've been trying to find one, and I cannot find one.
I had, somebody got one for me for my graduation. They got me a steel pick with like "Congratulations" engraved in the front, and I'm like, holy crap, where'd you find it?
I know.
I was like, wow.
It definitely has a very unique sound. It's like, I don't know how to describe it.
And I know that's like one of the things that, for me at least, like, it's one of the things that's easy to kind of overlook and forget. Like, if I get, frustrated because I'm not having the sound that I want out of a guitar or a part or whatever, I'm like, wait a second, let me just try to change the pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I found even like these little, like, I mean, these are the thinnest picks I have. I mean, you could literally bend them completely. And some of the sounds, I'm telling you, like, some of the sounds that I'm looking for in a guitar, these picks have it perfectly.
Huh.
Like, thin like that. It's crazy.
I use I've used 70 for a lot of years. I think I use 60 now. But 50 I used to use on acoustics, so it's a little too light for me, and they kept breaking every song. So I'm like,
Yeah.
When you, so this is something I don't think I've ever asked anybody, but when you pick, like, do you really dig into the guitar? Do you play where it's how to describe, like right here, see the very, very tip of it, you know what I mean? And you're digging into the string. Like when I play, I actually curve the pick so I can cheat and play faster.
That's exactly what I do.
Okay.
I find
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I find myself, a lot of my guitar friends are like, wait a second, do that again? And I'll be doing it. Like, that is the weirdest thing. Why do you play like that? I'm like, look, I don't freaking know. My hands just do it. But yeah. I find that I like curve the pick a lot in my fingers, and it just helps me play faster. And but yeah, sometimes I guess it depends on what song I'm playing and what I'm looking for, but sometimes I really love to dig it in and just, go at it. And then,
yeah. Because I think when you actually use it the way it's supposed to, and you're using the tip, it can actually only go so fast. And then when you curve it a little bit, it almost adds like this other level of speed. But it's great if you're just kind of strumming away. I strum regular. I don't curve the pick or anything. But that's a question that was interesting. I don't know if the viewers out there know what we're talking about, but sorry, guys. That's cool, though. I'm sure there's musicians and guitarists that watch this, though. I mean, it's...
Yeah, for sure.
Out there. Everybody out there, too, thank you very much. If you have any questions for us or Moriah, make sure you tag us, because this will be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and we'll get back to you, okay? And make sure you go on Moriah's social media. Her song is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. I always say iTunes, but it's Apple Music now.
I know. I said still.
It's just quicker. iTunes, Apple Music. Amazon. Right. I'm sure are you on like Deezer, Pandora Radio, that kind of stuff too?
I think Pandora Radio. I'm not sure. I've never heard of Deezer, but
okay. Look into that. It's the overseas guys. We want the UK people.
Oh, then maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure.
Definitely. Well, just type in her name. I'm sure you're there. So what? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'll definitely look into it.
Definitely.
It seems like a good idea.
Definitely. Yeah, there's so many, and there's like new ones that are popping up too, left and right. I'm like, what the, like Shazam and stuff like that or something like that. And I'm like, okay, There's actually a show with Jamie Foxx, and that's the app for that. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. Guys out there, get your songs on Shazam.
Right.
Man, it's the 90s all over again. Anyway, so what do you when you recorded, do you like I think I asked this before in other interviews, but do you like a lot of digital or do you like a lot of analog? What do you like? I know we mentioned amps and stuff, but
I mean, I like digital.
You like digital? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I like a little bit of both, but I think it's really cool to have the digital stuff too.
Do you utilize a lot of the plugins and things as far as like, if you're demoing out stuff like the cab sims, that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I pretty much only do scratch tracks and demos in plugins just cause like it's crazy how good the plugins have got, it
is. Yeah.
There's one plugin that, is so good. What is it? I think it's Nameless. It's by Neural or whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. And they have all these preamps, and it's Nameless. There's like Cali Sweet, like there's all sorts of ones, and they're just so good, so tight. They're just amazing, and they're metal. I think it's what's the guy? Ola England. You know him?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about, the brand. I know there's
all right. Well, anyway, it's a really good plugin. It's like $120, and it's just so good. And those are like the plugins that I've been using. But sometimes a lot of the time I'll use like the Sans amp, like the PSA Sans amp thing. There's
like Guitar Rig. Forgot the other one. There's another one I have. Something else.
I have DLA guitars too from Waves. That's really good too. I really love the cleans on it, on that plugin.
I'm definitely a Waves guy. As a mixer producer side of me, I use a lot of their stuff.
Yeah,
and I use a lot of the producer signature stuff. It's good.
Yeah, Waves are great, and they have great prices too.
Yeah, they're always has sales, and you get like two and you get one free and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, perfect. I think I've spent maybe, I don't know, $400, and I've gotten, 20 or something of their plugins. Wow. It's like crazy. So, but some of them, they really make a difference. They are sick. But it's just like gear too, it depends on the gear. It does depend on the plugins and the quality too of how they were made. And that's the same thing with analog, solid state, tube, any of that,
Exactly. So, I really like the Randall solid state amps. I think those sound so good.
Yeah, they're chunky.
Yeah, super chunky, super metal. I love them.
So what's up next with your band? What do you got? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so we're just really at this point, since we're still, in the baby phases, we only have one single.
COVID too,
Right. Yeah. COVID. Such a huge holdback as far as live shows go. But we're really just looking to grow our fan base right now and kind of stay on that steady track. And we're going to definitely be putting more music out. We have at least 2 new singles done and ready to be released. We don't know when to be released, but we definitely are. And, the goal is to hopefully do, an EP at least or something, but there's, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff too, that we can't necessarily talk about, but there's a lot of exciting stuff. So, people can definitely look forward to hearing more music. And hopefully we can also do some live stream shows too. That's our only option for playing shows. So,
yeah, especially electric. It's like, it's
exactly. So hopefully we're going to put together a live stream concert soon. I watched one of you playing acoustic solo. I think it was somewhere maybe in Albany or something like that. Really high def quality, it was going to like Facebook and a bunch of other places. Maybe you could do something like that with them. That would be cool. Cause that sounded good. It's Peter from Cover Band TV. He's awesome. Oh my gosh. He's so awesome. Like and he's a great guy too, but yeah, he's a lifesaver. Cause I don't know how to do that side. I don't know how to do that side of anything other than music. Like, I don't know about lighting. I don't know about camera angles. I don't know about how you get it to freaking Facebook and YouTube and everything at the same time. There's no way that I could figure that out. And yeah, like you said, it's just all super high def, and the sounds are great, and we can use our in-ears, which is also great. Yeah. So it's so yeah, if we do a live stream show, I'm sure it'll be with Peter from Cover Band TV.
Nice. Do you like the in-ears? I kind of prefer the old school headphones, wearing them, even streaming when I'm singing.
Yeah, I love the in-ears. I usually take, I'm not sure about this situation because it's completely abnormal, but
yeah,
at least with live shows in the past, I love in-ears. Like, they are completely a game changer for me. But depending on the venue, most of the time I would end up having to take one out because I just feel so disconnected from the crowd because it's so.
Yeah, you don't hear that that monitor sound.
Exactly.
Everything.
So, right, and so I'd end up having to take one out. But I really, really do love the in-ears a lot. And it's better on my voice personally because I can really hear my voice and what I'm doing, so I don't have to yell. I don't feel like I have to, sing louder or strain over anything. So I really, really love the in-ears.
I think that's the biggest thing as the singer.
Right.
For sure. Because it's a train wreck. When you realize you're 3 songs in and you've oversang and you're like, I got like another half an hour.
Right.
And like, I got to perform.
You're like, there is no way. You start thinking about all the shortcuts you can take for this high note and that high note.
Yeah, you just completely stop in a part. I've done that and just do a guitar part.
For sure. No,
I know it's not there, but there we go. But yeah, you do some really good covers too. The Skid Row one, I've seen all that kind of stuff. Really good.
Yeah.
Heart. I mean, if they ever like needed a singer, you'd fit right in.
Thank you.
Right
That's
away.
a huge. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love Heart, and Wilson is freaking legendary.
But like I said, like I know you like Hailstorm, Evanescence, and I can hear that in your new song. But like you said, it was done a little more old school. Where because I mean I do think you sound like Heart, but on your stuff, it's not like that's Heart singing on Mariah's thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it has that sound of like you said, it's not auto-tuned.
Right.
You know, it's the old school reverbs and stuff and chorus or whatever.
Right.
And it's like that's where you want to be.
Right. Exactly.
Definitely. That's rock.
You know, exactly. It's rock and roll, and I just love being super genuine, and I don't, I'm a very much like, like no bullshit person. Sorry, can we say that on here?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
But yeah, so I really love that sound, and I love being in that lane, because it also that's also what I love about Joan Jett and the Runaways, is they were just so
raw.
Okay, here we are. We're just gonna plug in and play. That's it. I mean, when I played the couple shows with Joan Jett like 3 years ago, she literally went up on stage with just her guitar, like jeans and a t-shirt, and no in-ears. Like that's how rock and roll that woman is. I mean, serious, and she's 5'3". Still taller than me, but still pretty small.
I didn't know she was that short.
She's so short, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually like talk to you face to face.
Wow.
But it was just the most rock and roll thing ever, and that's so I really love having Johnny to kind of help out with that.
Yeah. That's definitely an old school thing, using the monitors. I like that.
Yeah.
Someday maybe I'll try out in-ears. Someday. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of.
For me, it's the same. It's like somehow I could use in-ears for like a couple shows, but it always somehow goes straight back to the monitors.
Yeah. Yep. I do like the idea of most people one in, one out. I see that at the Grammys and stuff. They actually go like that. The big things, because I think they can't even hear out of them too sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you lose the room feel. It's hard to explain for people that haven't been through it, but there's like this room feel. There's, like you said, the audience. You hear things that aren't in this. Like even talking in this, I'm like, you don't feel like you're in the room.
I was just gonna say that, like you don't feel like you're there.
Yeah.
It's because I like to be. I mean, I think all of us as performers like to be there, like just to be present in the moment.
Yeah.
It's tough when you can't. It's hard. It's really hard to perform the best that you can too, when you don't feel the energy that you need to.
Yeah. So appreciate you coming on here, New York State Music in Motion, Moriah Formica. We've known each other for like, I think almost 3 or 4 years now. I think 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's been fun doing shows and doing interviews. I think I've interviewed you twice or something before. But everybody out there, make sure you check out her music. All right. Her song, Hate, is out right now. Her band Plush, all of her solo stuff. Maybe you can even find that original demo. Maybe Moriah has copies. Maybe she'll mail it to you. Who knows? That's the fan grabber stuff right there.
I'm sure some will have to come out.
Definitely. Any last words? Feel free, throw them in there. And one last question from me is, rock is dead? ?
I don't think that rock is dead. I used to think that it was like when I went on The Voice or like before, but I really don't think rock is dead. I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know, like, especially these last couple of years, I've seen like even mainstream artists are trying to bring elements of rock into their, I mean, look at Machine Gun Kelly. He's trying to do the rock thing. I mean,
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I don't really mess with it. Like I don't buy it, but like it's cool, you know, do your thing. But like, you know,
Miley Cyrus. I just said that because she went old school, kind of Stevie Nicks. Nothing to do with, you know.
Listen, man. Here's the thing. I love Miley Cyrus's new album. I think it's great. I think it's a great album. I really love a lot of the songs. I love the song that she did with Joan Jett. I love the song that she did with Billy Idol. But here's my problem. It's not really rock. Like, did you listen to it?
I listened to one song. That's all I got through.
Yeah, it's not. It's really. I mean, like you have the Rolling Stone magazine talking about it's got powerhouse drumming and all this. Like, that's kind of a joke. You're gonna sit here and say that that's powerhouse drumming? That's not powerhouse drumming.
No.
Okay.
It's something.
It's really not.
Something she wanted to try, which is fine, and it does introduce her fans into that genre, which is nice. But it's not like she is a rock artist all of a sudden.
That's all I'm saying. Because I'll see, like, you know, people comment on her stuff, like her fans are saying, like, you know, Queen of Rock, Rock Queen.
Yeah,
that's
Taylor Swift or something now is rock. It's like, nah.
Right, it's like young kids thinking that this is rock and roll because it's not. You know, and I just don't buy it. That's all I'm saying. And like I said earlier, I'm all about being genuine, and I don't have time. I don't like fakeness.
Yeah.
And that's all I see with it, to be honest. So
it's a nice one-off for, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Like I really like the song and I like the old school look, but to sit here and try and say that you're a rocker, I just don't buy that. But yeah, you know, going back to the question, I do see rock elements trying to come back, you know, and I know Demi Lovato she released like a punk song or something. Like everyone's trying to do the thing. J-Lo at the New Year's thing, she did a rock version. Like she did a really nice thing of Dream On. Like I think people are trying to really kind of
incorporate it
with the rock thing. Yeah. And so
yeah.
I don't think it's dead. I really don't. I mean, you see bands like Greta Van Fleet. I don't think that it's dead. I don't.
No, I think out of all the genres, it's the biggest influence still out there that influences every single genre. You hear 100%. It in country, like you said. I hear it in all the rock artist guys from the past 20 years have moved to country, have moved to pop. And guess what? That's why it's sounding like that, because these guys, that's where they came from. Exactly.
And you know,
it's cool though.
It is super cool. And I love pop, and I love whenever people bring like fusion into stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah. I don't really, I think that when people say rock is dead, it's just because it doesn't sound like it did back when they, you know, were growing up, or what they know to be rock, you know?
And glory days.
Dead though, you know, I get it. It's different.
Nothing's going to stay the same, you know?
Exactly. Nothing will ever be the same, but it's like, it's totally not dead. It's totally not. And I know so many kids, you know, in my generation that it's surprising to me how many kids I find out every day they love rock. I mean, just kids at my shows, like seeing little girls, like the way that they would look at us playing on stage. Kids love rock. It's just not what they're being fed. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it's energetic. It's the attitude. It's exactly. For me, it's that little bit of rebelness, anti-system, there's little parts you can pick out of everything. For me, it's be your own person, your own identity. Right. You're not going to be told what to play.
Exactly. And
that's rock.
Exactly. Rock and roll, and it's being genuine, and you know, we write about life and things that really happen in life. You know, it's not about how many girls can I get and how many this and that and live your life up hard.
Used to be.
Well, yes.
Not anymore. Definitely.
But I'm just saying, like a lot of the songs right now, I think that's one of the reasons that I love the rock, you know, rock and roll and stuff, because it's just so genuine and at the end of the day, that's the music that got me through hard times in my life, you know?
Exactly. So we got Moriah Formica here. Thank you very much for being on the show. Looking forward to what you release here in the future, and you know, keep us updated, you know, everybody. All right. We appreciate it. Everybody out there, feel free to reach out to any of us. She'll get back to your comments, all that good stuff. We'll see ya. New York State Music in Motion Season 2. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our pages, NewYorkStateMusic.com. Stream and support.